Good evening. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker. Today I am your host for the evening. My name is Batun Das. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and certified international educational and training institute. In last 3 years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus professions and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve student community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that is not effective training is one skill just by offering formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to students, job seeker, job holder, and also for learners, the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. The IGP is one of the famous online institute from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminar courses, our competition mentoring and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like a role portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and one knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can update all day. Kids learning game website, free course, convert sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement our training program, webinar, and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professional. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and will serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind you, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Move to the next. With your continuous support, you already completed 1,736 webinars successfully. Before we move to the next, let me remind you, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Move to the next. With your continuous support, you already completed 1,736 webinars successfully. Dear IGP participant and speaker well-wisher, at this moment is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched a new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our service. So create your account for us with profile information. Note that with profile information, you will enjoy our feature. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace slide. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can participate in live quiz competition on our. Now you check all of our previous webinars with verified certificate. Now it's easier and time limited because after the session we will not provide you code for certification. You have to take part in after that you pass you will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificate experience certificate. If you are a host of IGP, you can download a certificate of gratitude. If you are an online quiz competition, then you can download a certificate of participation. If you are selected for lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in a award function which organizes common support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 88 types of certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influence in the Pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge, Certificate of Social Activities in the Pandemic, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Income in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching Learning. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Management. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, the New Trend in Education. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, ABC also Leadership and Managerial Skills. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trend and Innovation in Paris Education. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research Comprehension Approach. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching Program in the Arts. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Student Teaching Mathematics. Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador. Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate 1000+ international level course with verified certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teaching, education tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check it out with Plus Student Services website for free and many more. Dear IGP Vision, we promised previously, but lack of technical issue, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to calculate previous condition with soft revision from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything. You can check your dashboard for all of the details. It's a cordial request to check all button and pages on our website. Surely I can say it will benefit. Thank you, but note that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our services. At present, we are going to start our 1737 webinar, which name is Become Outcome-Based Education, and today our speaker name is Dr. Shobhik Ganguly. He is from India. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker, sir, I'll share a little bit about him. Assistant Professor, Department of Electrical and Instrument Engineering, Kapur Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, the stage is yours. You can start your presentation now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you, IGP, for giving me an opportunity to speak before such learned participants. Once again, welcoming all to this important webinar on outcome-based education. We will be talking today on mostly the educational approach that relates to curriculum, that relates to some measurable student outcomes, that pertains to some assessments based on the curriculum, and on which I'll talk today. Myself, Dr. Shobhik Ganguly. I'm serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering at Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala. So let's welcome all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my participants in this wonderful session on outcome-based education. So we'll quickly go through the basic definitions, importance of OBE, the different key components of OBE. We'll tell you about the framework and how the process works related to different components related to student learning outcome. So first of all, we'll talk about the slides are not yeah. So our outcome-based education, the prime purpose is to gain knowledge, but also to develop some practical skills or technical skills and abilities or capabilities in a student, so that they can develop their future career, and they can lead to some or they can explore some real world situations as well. So it is basically a systematic approach or an educational approach that pertains to certain factors like curriculum design, some assessment, continuous improvement. So these are the terms that we are going to discuss again and again during my lecture as well. And it should align to your educational practices, so that the students can learn something that they desire to learn from a particular objective, or rather than it is an outcome that a student is expected to learn from a particular course, from a particular curriculum, and improving in the process, and there should be some measurable outcome in the process. First, let me highlight upon a few factors related to the importance of outcome-based education, or which we are calling as OBE. So first of all, we have to have some clarity of goals, because before we teach a particular course, we should provide some clear and specific outcomes to the students, so that your educators as well as the students, they both understand that what is expected. So this clarity of goal will enhance the learning process or the learning experience or the learning exposure. Apart from that, your teaching must be student centric, because it shifts the focus to the absolutely to the learner, emphasizing their development of essential skills, or any in case some competencies that are required for a particular course, for a particular curriculum, and which prepares them for the real time challenges as well. Apart from that, learning outcomes should be measurable. This is most important as well, so that it is easier for a student to assess his or her own progress as well as determining that whether my educational goals are met or not, whether my outcomes are met or not. So first three important points that we talked about is that your OBE must focus on clear and specific learning outcomes. It must shift focus from teacher centric learning to student centric learning as well. And the learning outcomes must be measurable as well. So let us proceed for the next particular part. There should be, it is one of the important characteristics, and we'll be time and again be discussing about how we can improve ourselves cyclically, so that your outcome based education focuses on a cyclic process of assessment and improvement. So it is an ongoing performance that has to be mentioned. It is a continuous evaluation that has to be there, and how you can correct your teaching methods based on the score you received, based on some measurements, based on some outcomes that the students have performed better, and how they can perform even better with some modifications with respect to the teaching methodology, with respect to the curriculum design as well at times. So corrections or actions that has to be taken must be specified after each journey of measurement of the learning outcomes. Apart from that, if you are having a technical course, it must align with the industrial needs. So of course, the programs must be evaluated based on the demands of the industries and also the job market, so that your graduates should be well prepared for the employment as well. Apart from that, another important factor is the accountability of your educators as well as the educational institutions for achieving some specific learning outcomes and fostering a sense of responsibility as well. So here we come across two important terms. That is, one is continuous improvement. So basically, it will be a cyclic process of assessment and improvement. And apart from that, there will be, your curriculum should be such designed in such a fashion that it must align with the industry needs, and it must align with the job market as well. Apart from that, your educators as well as the institutions must be accountable for achieving some educational outcomes as well. Apart from that, your OB must demand for flexibility or adaptability in their teaching methods and in the content preparation as well. So depending upon the student needs, depending upon the learning styles of the students, you must be adaptable, you must be flexible as well. So of course, we talked about that already, that OBE is a student-centric process. So of course, it must cater to the needs of the students as well as to the demands of the students and their learning patterns as well. So your teaching methods must be flexible, your teaching methods must be adaptable enough to cater to the diverse needs of the students as well as their learning styles as well. Apart from that, quality assurance. There must be some mechanism by virtue of which we must ensure that your programs are consistently meeting some established standards. Apart from that, it must maintain a transparency for the stakeholders Who are the stakeholders of your education institutions? Mainly your students, their parents, as well as the employers, those are associated, by clearly defining the graduate attributes, or rather what the graduates should know and what they should be able to do. Apart from that, we must have our OB is also adaptable to different cultural as well as educational contexts. Say, for example, in Indian context, we have a diverse culture, and people from different parts of India, they are coming together, and they are sitting in a particular class from diverse backgrounds, some diverse cultural backgrounds, and different learning styles, or different exam patterns, or different boards through which they have studied. So obviously, they have to be, your OBE or your outcome-based education must be adaptable to the different cultural and the different educational contexts, making it very much relevant to fit some industrial settings, international settings as well. Apart from that, your student must be made lifelong learners as well. So you must encourage a commitment to the continuous learning process beyond your formal education, or developing a culture of lifelong learning in the process. We are specifying on, or focusing on the outcomes, or the student learning outcomes, but at the same time, we must also ensure that it must be allocated efficiently, and reducing wastage of time and effort on irrelevant content. So the efficiency is also another crucial factor on which your OBE is dependent. Apart from that, you can have some programs or graduates who have passed out based on the OBE approaches. They have a competitive edge, or they have a competitive advantage in the job market, as they possess some technical skills, they possess some technical competencies that are being sought after by the employers. So obviously, it gives a competitive edge, it provides an efficiency, and also develops a culture, or inculcates a culture in the students to be lifelong learners. When we are talking about objectives of OBE, we must specify few factors. You may find that these are coming again and again, but still they are important terms or important coinages for outcome-based education. The first and the foremost is defining some clear learning outcomes for each particular course, for each particular program, or for a degree as well. So it will be serving as the foundation of the educational process. So student-centric learning provides or places the students at the center of your educational journey or educational experience. So it will not only help students to acquire knowledge, but also develop some personal practical skills, technical competencies, and some attributes which are relevant for their careers ahead, or how they are able to troubleshoot the real-time situations as well. Assessment, it is also an important criteria of OBE, where your OBE is emphasizing on the assessment of whether your students have achieved the intended learning outcomes or not through some measurement. So it involves some systematic process, it involves some reliable methods by virtue of which the student learning outcomes or the student performance can be measured. Apart from that, we talked about alignment of curriculum. So your OBE must ensure that your curriculum, even your instructional strategies, as well as the assessment techniques that we have adopted, they should be aligned with our defined learning outcomes. So this alignment will also help to maintain the consistency or the accuracy of the academic delivery. Apart from that, we are always promoting for a culture of continuous improvement in the process of your outcome-based education. So we must have regular assessment from the educator's point of view, We must assess our students regularly and analyze their assessment data to identify some areas for improvement in the teaching methodology, in the curriculum, and in terms of the educational resources that we give to the students as well. Next comes adaptability and flexibility. Of course, your OBE will recognize that your learners are having some diverse needs. They have some diverse abilities as well. They are coming from different cultural backgrounds as well. So we must also encourage, or our OBE must encourage, the flexibility in the teaching methods and the content delivery to accommodate these differences that are there and adapt to the situations, or make adjustments to the situation so that it can benefit most of the students or almost all of the students. Apart from that, your education must be will help the students prepare for or your students must be employable as well. So we must inculcate in the students some practical knowledge, some competencies through some lab practice sessions, through some experiential learning activities. So this will enhance your graduates' ability to perform better. Apart from that, quality assurance, which we have talked about, that there should be some mechanism by virtue of which we must ensure that your programs are meeting certain desired standards and your graduates are well prepared for their careers. Apart from that, your transparency and accountability must be maintained by clearly communicating the educational objectives to all the stakeholders, including your students, your parents, your employers. It also holds your educators and the institutions accountable for achieving the desired objectives as well. Apart from that, we should have lifelong learning orientation. So students must be made lifelong learners so that they can move ahead in their career. And sometimes it often happens that education does not go on beyond your graduation, or beyond graduation, maybe some master's degree or something of that sort. So what they are learning in a stipulated 3 years or 4 years duration, that must be helping them in their career lifelong. Apart from that, we can have inclusion of objectives to satisfying the global competence. So preparing your students to work in a global ambience, and cross-cultural understanding must be there. The communication skills, mostly in most of the countries we have English as the priority. So your communications, the students must be good enough to learn or have a proper knowledge about the written as well as the oral communication skills as well. Regarding optimizing these aspects, so that means we are talking about efficient allocation of educational resources. So if we are overburdening our students with some resources that they are not able to digest, and it will considerably reduce the wastage of time and effort on focusing on some irrelevant content, and rather than going for focusing on the outcomes only, the course related outcomes or the student learning outcomes which we are talking about. Now we will discuss about some of the principles of OBE. We talk about that your objectives or your learning outcomes must be clearly defined. Not only it must be clearly defined, it must be also be measurable as well. So what students get to know, or what students should learn, should understand, and will be able to do by the end of the course, that must be clearly focused and that must be measurable as well. So when we are talking about some elements of education, when we are talking about curriculum, some instructional methods, some assessments, and they must be aligned in such a way that they meet some defined or well-defined or clear-cut learning outcomes. So your educational process must be coherent and it must be focused on attending or achieving some of the intended outcomes. So, of course, we talk about assessment, and assessment should take place in a cyclic manner. Evaluation should take place in a cyclic manner. Improvement should take place in a cyclic manner. Uh, Educators regularly they are collecting the data based on the performance of the students and use it to enhance their teaching methods, to improve their teaching curriculum, as well as improve the curriculum of the course as well to a certain extent. Apart from that, the assessment centered approach must be adopted. So it may include some formative assessment, it may include some summative assessment. These type of assessments which we can have, which may be designed to measure the content or the extent to which the students have achieved some specified goals or specified outcomes. Apart from that, it must be a student-centric learning, so that it is not that how well we are delivering the content, but it depends upon that how they are able to grasp on the topic, make the students engage actively, participate actively in the classrooms. We can have problem solving. We can test the problem solving abilities of the students. We can have some testing on the practical application of the students, based on which some approach can be formulated, or some teaching methodology, some instructional strategies can be designed. Apart from that, there should be some regular feedback that must be taken from time to time, and that must help them to understand the progress of their work or progress of their performance, and also find out the ways or remedies for improving further. So this will also encourage your students to reflect on their own learning process, how they are learning, and how they will make certain necessary adjustments. So of course, we are coming from different diverse needs and also learning styles. So your learning methodology or your instructional methods or your content delivery as well must be flexible enough, must be adaptable enough to be able to accommodate these type of differences. Say different persons may have different expectations from a particular course, why they are having that particular course, so they may be having different expectations from the course. So we must always define our learning outcomes, what we are intending to achieve and how much we are intending to achieve as well. So that reference point, that standards must be set in the class through their teaching methodology, through the different assessments that we make. Apart from that, your outcomes will serve as a reference point. The outcomes should have a reference point for educators as well as for the students and other stakeholders. They will also guide they will also guide some course design, some teaching strategies, some assessment practices as well. When we are talking about OBE, your process must be absolutely transparent. It should be clearly communicated that what kind of learning outcomes are expected from a particular course or from a particular curriculum, and what kind of assessment criteria that must be set to the students. It must be very much transparent, so that the students must able to understand that what is expected from them, what they are desired to learn reading a particular course or reading a particular curriculum. So of course, your educators, your institutions must be held accountable for achieving certain specified learning outcomes. So it gives you a framework for evaluating the effectiveness of your educational program as well. Focus is, of course, on lifelong learning, which had been time and again be telling that we are trying to develop some skills which should be lifelong, and they must be able to develop certain competencies, some skill development that pertains to any technical course, that that enables your students, that helps your students to learn continuously throughout their lives. So, stakeholder involvement is also an important category where you must be in contact with the different employers, the industry experts, and different accrediting bodies as well, so that your learning, whether your learning outcomes are relevant and whether they meet the societal needs as well. So, this must also be specified. Now we'll quickly go through the benefits, although there will be few terms which we have already discussed, and we'll be time and again be discussing about the benefits of outcome-based learning. So clarity of educational goals. Once again, we have been discussing that we must be very much clear regarding some specific learning outcomes from a course, from a curriculum. So both your students as well as the teachers also must understand the goals of the curriculum, the intended goals or the specified goals of the curriculum. Apart from that, it should be a student centric approach, means it will shift from the teacher centric approach to the student centric approach, such that the progress of the individual students must be monitored, and the how to make certain adjustments, how to engage them actively, or how to motivate them for a self-directed learning process as well. Your learning outcomes, not only there should be clarity of the educational goals or the specific learning outcomes, but your learning outcomes must always be measurable, allowing for effective assessment of the student performance and achievement. Apart from that, there should be a cyclic process of assessment by virtue of which your students will get continually will improve, and it will lead to certain changes that you need to make in terms of teaching methods, in terms of curriculum, in terms of the instructional materials that you give to the students as well. Apart from that, whether your course is aligned with the industry needs, and whether it is aligned with your defined outcomes, your curriculum is to ensure that consistency, that accuracy, that relevance as well. And of course, whether your curriculum is relevant to the real-time needs or real-time situations, or whether you are able to equip your student with some practical knowledge, with some technical competencies that will be directly applicable for them to handle the real-time challenges and enhancing their employability skills. Apart from that, your adaptability to the diverse learning process must be there. Your OBE must be accommodating your learning styles. It must accommodate to the students' learning styles, students' needs, allowing them to be flexible in their teaching methods as well as their content delivery as well. So, of course, we are intending our students to be employable as well. So our graduates must be employable. So there should be some technical skills, there should be some technical attributes, some graduate attributes that the employers must be seeking. Those your students or your programs should be strengthened to such an extent that the students passing out from that program will be able to graduate and will be able to develop in them that particular skills so that they are employable as well. When we are talking about lifelong learning orientation, it is we are time and again discussing. We are talking about quality assurance. We are focusing on lifelong learning skills of the students as well. Apart from that, your curriculum must be designed in such a way that you are focusing on the global competence, that what is a global scenario, and based on which whether your graduates or whether your students are able to make use of them, and we are trying to focus in them the cross-cultural understanding. We are able to communicate with them, they are able to develop some communication skills, and how to make use of effective use of resources that can lead to more effective allocation of your educational resources, and reducing, of course, the wastage of time and effort focusing on some irrelevant content or redundant content as well. Apart from that, we must always try to inculcate in a student some of the critical thinking or some of the problem solving abilities in the students as learning outcomes, which will promote the intellectual development of the students as well. Apart from that, we must be flexible in our curriculum design. We must be adaptable to our curriculum design so that we are able to incorporate some new knowledge, some adapt to some changing educational needs as well. So OBE will serve as a quality assurance mechanism by virtue of which your standards will be constantly be evaluated, and whether your programs are meeting some definite standards or not. That must be there. Let me now talk about OBE framework. Although we discussed time and again about the learning outcomes, curriculum design, alignment, although these points are quite again, we'll be time and again be discussing. And when we are talking about OBE framework as well, we will be emphasizing once again. So your basic foundation is to specify a clear-cut learning outcome. So, of course, your learning outcomes should be such that the student should know, they should understand, and be able to do by the end of a course or a program or a degree as well. Your curriculum will be designed in such a way that these desired learning outcomes must be met. So, it will include some content, selection of content, some instructional methods, some assessment strategies, some alignment with the outcomes must be there. And of course, when we are talking about the different elements of education, like course objectives, instructional materials, assessment tools, and consistencies must be maintained with respect to the specified learning outcomes as well. When we are talking about assessment strategies, we had been taking about formative assessment. We had been talking about assessment of summative assessment must be there, which we must be carrying out throughout a semester system or a yearly program, whichever you are teaching, so that we are able to monitor the progress and we are able to measure the defined outcomes of a course, of a program, of a curriculum as well. And we'll be time and again be iteratively taking some regular feedback from the students to understand their progress, to seek the areas on which they can improve upon, to tell them to discuss with them what difficulty they are facing in a particular course, why they have not been able to score as per their expectation or as per their preparedness or not, and whether any informed decisions can be made with respect to some teaching philosophy or teaching methods, or some changes are required in the curriculum as well. Another important component is a student-centric learning, so that we are talking about active engagement, active participation of the students in the learning process. We are encouraging our students to take the responsibility for their learning, to take the responsibility for the progress of their learning towards achieving some desired outcomes as well. Your assessment, whatever you are assessing, it must be authentic enough, because that will mimic your real world task and real world challenges. So we must be preparing our students for learning some practical applications of their whatever they are learning in terms of a course, in terms of a curriculum or something of that sort. Your OBE is demanding for flexibility and adaptability with respect to different diverse needs of the students and the learning styles of the students. So the instructional methods must be flexible enough, the content delivery must be flexible to accommodate these differences. At the same time, there should be a focus on the assessment taking place continually and trying to improve the performance of the students. So educators must regularly collect the data based on the performance of the students. They must evaluate the effectiveness of their teaching philosophy or methods, instructional strategies, and make some necessary adjustments to enhance their learning skills as well. Transparency, this is equally important. Your communication to the students, you must be very much transparent at the beginning of the course. You must tell them and help them understand that what is expected from a desired course, what they are expected to learn from a desired course. Apart from that, your OBE must be holding the educators and the institutions as well accountable for achieving certain desired outcomes as well. So OBE will provide a particular framework for the effectiveness of an educational program as well. Stakeholders, of course, the stakeholders must be a part, including employers, industry experts, from time to time, some accrediting bodies as well. As parents can be involved in it, so that the learning outcomes are, whether the learning outcomes are relevant. Sometimes they can meet certain societal needs as well. And what should be my orientation of learning? The orientation must be there for lifelong learning of the students. So we had been discussing, so we'll not waste time on it, and we'll move ahead for the process. So process involves certain steps, like when we are going through following the outcome based education, we must ensure that your definition of learning outcomes must be very much clear. Your objectives must be very much clear for a course, be it a program, be it a degree. So these outcomes specify what the students should know, how they understand and will be able to do by the end of their educational journey as well. Apart from that, curriculum is also playing an important role. How well you design a curriculum to the students and how it is well aligned outcomes, of course, and what appropriate content must be taken, what instructional methods must be used, what assessment strategies must be adapted, that should align with our defined outcomes as well. Apart from that, when we talk about the alignment of the course objectives with the instructional methods or assessment tools, we must also align ourselves with the specific learning outcomes. So your basic journey about education must be coherent, and it must be focused on achieving some of the specified goals that are there for in terms of the learning outcomes. Now, when we talk about teaching and learning, that educators, we as educators must implement our designed curriculum in such a way that it will involve maximum participation from the students. It must engage them, and this will facilitate the acquisition of knowledge. This will facilitate development of skills, development of competencies, technical competencies in a student, for which that will be required to achieve the necessary outcomes as well. There must be some assessment strategies. It can be both formative and summative as well, and they can help to provide some ongoing feedback that will help the students to measure their performance. And summative or assessments, they will occur at the end of the course mostly, or the end of the program, that will determine the extent to which the students have achieved the desired outcome. So there is a slight difference between going for formative assessments, because it will take periodic evaluations are formative in nature, and where you can get through some quizzes, some assignments, some other necessary internal assessments, by virtue of which the students can see their progress. And at the end, when we talk about the end semester, we take the evaluations of the lab. We sometimes perform the quizzes as well. So that will be at the end of the course or the program, which the students will achieve, or whether the students have achieved. To measure that, we have to check whether they have achieved the learning outcomes of the course as well. Apart from that, we should have a regular feedback system from the students as well, both ways, because also a teacher must also know that whether the students have understood or whether they have followed. At the same time, the students must also provide the feedback to the teachers, that whether they have understood their strengths, their areas for improvement as well. So some assessment results are there with the students, which they may make use of in order to make some conclusions or make some informed decisions about how to adjust for the rest of the course, how to adjust the curriculum in the succeeding cases. When we are talking about assessment, your assessment must be very much transparent in nature. It must be authentic in nature, and it must reflect some real world task, and it must involve some real world challenges as well. So your students, you must ensure that the students must be well prepared for practical applications of their learning process as well. When it comes to data collection analysis, of course, we are talking about some assessment which are made, which are collected. Assessment data is being collected. They are analyzed. They are used to evaluate the effectiveness of the teaching methods. They are helped. They will also help sometimes to revise your curriculum and making it aligned to the learning outcomes. And this particular approach will help us to take some decisions if required, or make certain necessary adjustments in the instructional strategies, in terms of the educational resources, in terms of the assessments that we are doing. So always it is that your OBE is providing a culture of continuous improvement in the process, and we are heading towards regularly assessing the students, analyzing their assessment data, identifying some areas by virtue of which we can also improve our teaching methodology. Our curriculum must be updated from time to time, and our educational resources must also be improved from time to time as well. At the same time, the continuous improvement is there on the part. So there should be regular monitoring of the students' progress as well, the students' performance as well, on different learning outcomes and how they are doing in different assessment criteria. Say, for example, when you talk about mid-semester exams or end-semester exams, how they are performing in quizzes, how they are performing in their lab evaluations or laboratory evaluation components as well. Of course, this we have been time and again be discussing. Once again, let me tell you that we must transparently communicate to the students the specified outcomes, or what is expected from a particular course, or how they will be assessed on the particular course as well. This must be clearly defined at the beginning of your course delivery as well. And your outcome based education, it holds the educators, it holds the educational institutions as well to be accountable for specifying some learning outcomes as well. So this develops in the educators, this develops in the educational institutions to have a responsibility, a sense of responsibility for maintaining certain educational quality as well. Now, let us move on to the challenges of what we can have. First of all, when we are moving from the teacher-centric approach to the student-centric approach, the first resistance is there to change. We cannot, we have a significant shift in the teaching methodology. We are having a significant change in the curriculum design. So resistance to such changes, both from the student point of view and as well as from the educator point of view, as well as from the administrative point of view as well, can hinder the adoption of OBE. Another difficulty that we may face, that all educational components, whether they are aligned properly with the defined learning outcomes, this can also be sometimes challenging in nature. So maintaining or achieving certain accuracy across courses and programs may require a substantial effort as well. Apart from that, when we're talking about designing and implementing some effective assessment methods or assessment techniques that can accurately measure your learning outcome, this can sometimes be complex, it can be time consuming as well. So these type of challenges can be a part. Even you may be may not be having, you may be requiring some additional resources, say for training educators, for developing new assessment tools, updating your curriculum materials as well, updating your instructional materials sometimes. The institutions with limited resources often find it challenging to implement OBE effectively. So once again, when we are developing or trying to maintain OBE in the different programs, it can be time consuming as well for the educators as well as for the education institutions as well, to particularly go through the initial phases in the implementation process. We are defining, we are talking about defining our clear and measurable learning outcomes that can truly reflect our goals in education. It can be sometimes challenging as well. There can be some debates, there can be some uh, arguments in between, by virtue of which you will be able to what outcomes actually are most important for your graduates, or what attributes do you require for for developing the technical skills and the technical competencies in the students as well. Students variability, definitely we are accommodating different students with diverse needs and diverse learning styles as well. This can also be leading to some personalized effort to the students and help them achieve some outcomes which can be sometimes challenging as well. Assessment burden, we are trying to frame different assessment techniques, or we are trying to take quizzes, we are trying to take lab evaluations, laboratory evaluations, we are trying to take mid-semester tests or any other assignments that are there. But they're of course reading some 5 6 courses in a semester as well. So sometimes it can be assessing and providing feedback for different learning outcomes can be an overload on the educators as well, and it may affect the quality of assessment and the quality of feedback that is expected out of OBE. Apart from that, when we are talking about the different professional development, so educators must also require some professional training, some development to implement effectively the OBE. So institutions that they do not invest in this particular aspect may struggle to achieve the desired outcomes as well. So lack of professional development can sometimes be a hindering part leading to the OBE part. Sometimes we overemphasize on the testing and the assessment of the students, and those must may not always be aligned to the broader goals of the education, or the learning outcomes they may not be able to justify to some extent. Sometimes your quality assurance, we are trying to meet certain desired or established standards through continuous monitoring and evaluation or something of that sort, but sometimes it can be challenging for different courses and different programs as well. Apart from that, of course, when we are talking about maintaining a certain desired standard, certain standardization must be fixed to achieve certain alignment with the outcome. So some educators or some institutions may resist to such standardizations or such stiff standards they may not be able to achieve. Apart from that, there will be some stakeholder involvement. Sometimes your employers, your industry experts may not be able to give you appropriate feedback relevant to the industry needs or relevant to the job market, or sometimes your parents are reluctant enough to contribute as a stakeholder, or your educational institution must not be supportive enough to meet certain standards or real world needs are there, so that there can be some lacuna in terms of the stakeholder involvement. Measurement limitations, of course, when we are measuring some learning outcomes, there can be some related to soft skills or complex problem solving abilities or something of that sort, maybe sometimes challenging and maybe relying on some subjective assessment rather than measuring assessment as well. So sometimes you are talking about in a class of communication, we are expected to develop some soft skills. We are able to solve from the engineering aspect, we are able to solve certain complex engineering problems, but your measurement may not be giving you satisfactory score as well. It happens. And there are unnecessary pressures and external pressures from the institutions. They try to force your administration wants to give you a force to uh, provide some OBE based things on you, and they may be satisfying certain accreditation requirements. So this leads to some added complexity and the stress in the process, entire process as well. So, what must be the future, or what is expected of future? First of all, we had been talking these days about AI powered tools, AI powered technologies, how AI is entering into personalized learning, or into making student data, or adapting to the content, or provide some targeted feedback or something of that sort. So your outcome based education can always benefit from artificial intelligence and offering some personalized pathways or personalized learning for the students to achieve some desired learning outcomes. Data analytics also plays a crucial role in your learning outcomes as well, because we may require some advanced analytical methods or data analytical methods to provide educators a valuable insight into the performance of the students and check the progress of the students to their learning outcomes as well. So a data driven approach can be thought about to fine tune your OBE programs for achieving some great results as well. Apart from that, we are talking about personalized learning. So it is a growing trend that tells your education must be tailored enough to accommodate individual students needs, individual students abilities, and the interest of the students as well. OBE can of course incorporate some personalized learning approaches as well to ensure that the students can progress at their own pace, and at the same time achieve the desired outcomes as well. Blended learning, it is an order of the day. So we talk about online learning skills, blended learning models. They can provide more flexibility to your OBE as well, and it can provide the students with much more choices and adapt to the different learning ambience as well. Another important category that is coming up that we are talking about, we are shifting from gradually OBE to competence based education, which we call as CBE. It is also closely connected with OBE, with with focusing on demonstrating some specific competencies or specific technical skills rather than completing the traditional courses. So more focus will be there in coming years, more focus will be there on competency based educations rather than going for OBE just for outcome based education, or meeting certain outcomes, or getting certain, achieve certain specific learning outcomes. We are more into achieving some technical competencies, some technical skills, rather than completing your conventional courses as well. So this is also equally important. Apart from that, we are having the blockchain technology, which is used to verify your educational credentials, or portability of your educational credentials. So it can benefit from secure and transparent systems, and if you are able to achieve that the students has achieved the intended goals, or such that you making use of the blockchain technology, that is really a wonderful thing that your OBE can achieve in the long run. Use of virtual reality and augmented reality, of course some immersive learning experiences are there, which will help the students of course to better understand and apply their learning skills, or apply their learning outcomes as well. So they can get hands-on exposure, hands-on training, absolutely, using the technology based virtual reality and augmented reality. Some global collaboration, and of course this will enhance your learning skills as well. So if you have some 2+2 programs or 3+1 programs, where we can do some, engage some students for some international projects and partnerships as well, so that it gives them a global perspective, it gives them a cross cultural understanding as well. And we are talking about these days about micro learning or bit-sized content as well. So short focused learning modules, so This is very, very important, and this must be integrated with the OBE, which will help the students achieve some smaller outcomes incrementally and making some learning more manageable and more efficient as well. So these are some key components which will be there, and gradually it is already been incorporated in some parts of the world already. So these coinages I'm not taking from some arbitrary text, because these are part of the research that are going on. A few people are working on smart learning environments using the virtual reality and the augmented reality. Few are going for micro learning as well. Some part has been already being practicing blended learning as well. Competency based education, this is another new approach that will focus use of blockchain, which will make you verify your credentials as well. A secure system and a transparent system for proving your credentials or verifying your credentials as well, so that only the students who are registered for the course will able to access the learning materials as well. So, of course, when we are talking about use of blockchain, we must be there that there should be some strong emphasis on the ethical part and the inclusive practices as well. So, incorporating values in the education, incorporating inclusivity as a part of the learning outcome should be there. And of course, your not only lifelong learning is has been a part of OBE, but it should also be there that you must upgrade yourself or upskill yourself. So your OBE must be adaptive enough to support your continuous upskilling and professional development throughout anyone's career, be it professional, be it an educator as well sometimes. And when we are talking about environment and sustainability education, we are talking about sustainability education is equally becoming important these days, and we are trying to incorporate, if we are able to, our programs can able to incorporate some learning outcomes related to sustainability and environmental stewardship. Those must be incorporated as a part of the graduate attributes as well. So finally, what are the key takeaways today? So we are talking about course learning outcomes. So OBE is focused on defining your outcome, or clearly it must state some specific learning outcomes which the students will achieve, or this will be the purpose of the educational program as well. Alignment of curriculum with the instructional methods and with the assessment techniques are also crucial, and it must be coherent as well, meeting the desired goals. Apart from that, there should be some regular assessment. Importance of the assessment must be there, and there should be some feedback and data analysis as well. So these elements must be which will drive our continuous improvement in our teaching methods, in our curriculum design as well. Apart from that, we are talking about student-centric learning, and it must focus on learning rather than teaching. So it must encourage active participation, active engagement of the student, and develops in a student responsibility for one's own learning. So there must be flexibility and adaptability with regard to the diverse learners that we have talked about. It must allow for the flexibility in the instructional methods and content delivery to accommodate the difference in terms of the diversity of the learners, or in terms of the needs they have. Of course, transparency will be there in communicating the learning outcomes, in defining the assessment criteria to the students. It will provide a transparency and help the students understand that what is expected of them from the course. Accountability, of course, the educators as well as the educational institutions must be held accountable for achieving certain specified learning outcomes. So we must ensure at the same time a commitment for a good quality education as well. And when we are promoting for a culture of continuous improvement, the assessment data must be providing us some informs. We must be able to take some decisions in order to improve our education continually. And involvement of stakeholder, and it must enhance their relevance as well. So employers and industry experts must be there. They should be incorporated in the decision making process to develop the learning outcomes, or your educations must be relevant to the real world needs as well. And finally, last but not the least, lifelong learning objectives. Lifelong learning must be encouraged. And when we are talking about future trends that are there, we are to have the incorporation of artificial intelligence, personalized learning, blended learning, online learning, as we are doing right now, and how they can impact on the implementation of OE and develop the improve upon their effectiveness as well. When we are talking about the ethics and the inclusivity matter, of course, we must be focusing on the importance of ethical standards or alignment with them, with the values, and inclusivity must be there, and it must be incorporated into the learning outcomes. With this, I come to the end of this particular discussion on OBE, on the outcome based education. I hope that you have enjoyed my lecture, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for a rich content presentation which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP Knowledge Seeker. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will be back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Sir, welcome back to our participant. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and our online quiz competition. Sir, our first question is from Bhanuyoga. How AI in TBL affects pure online OBE?
Yeah, first of all, let me brief about those who are not aware of the task based learning. It involves defining a clear and achievable task, providing some appropriate language input and resources that allows your learners to work individually or in groups to complete a particular task. Basically, it is focusing on not only the development of the language skills but also the acquisition of other important skills like critical thinking, problem solving, at the same time collaborating and developing creativity in a student. Of course, when we are talking about AI in education, we had been discussing just now. We had been talking about the AI powered tools and how the AI powered tools and the platforms can adapt to some individual learner needs and preferences. So, of course, personalized learning experience will be a part related when we are talking about making a significant impact on task-based learning by providing some benefits, some opportunities as well. So there are some ways by virtue of which we can improve this task-based learning, or by virtue of which we can talk about personalization is one of the important terms when we are talking about making use of the AI-powered tools or the AI-powered platforms. There are several which AI powered tools which are available these days for preparing the website, creation of images, even making of videos. So there are numerous to come by. Apart from that, there is a system called which we are calling as intelligent tutoring system, which we call as ITS. This is also powered by AI, and that is also acting as your virtual tutor, providing you guidance, providing you feedback, and providing you some support to the learners as well. As they can engage in some task, or what your question seeker is asking for, task-based learning. So it can be an important part of task-based learning as intelligent tutoring system. Apart from that, if you are from computer science, we are talking about natural language processing, or NLP. So AI can help the learners to improve their learning language skills through NLP, through the use of natural language processing as well. So there are several chatbots, several language analysis tools which are available, and which can engage in conversations with the learners and allowing them to practice and receive good feedback in their language. And this will be definitely be a great source of improvement in case of we are talking about task-based activities. Apart from that, we can talk about enhanced task design. We can have AI can assist the teachers as well. It is not that the students are only benefited. The teachers can we can get assistance. As teachers, we can also get assistance in designing our tasks by providing some insights, by providing some recommendations based on vast amounts of data. So AI based systems can analyze the learner's performance as well. Even we can make use of AI in the assessment part, because AI based techniques can also facilitate our assessment and evaluation process in task based learning as well. Even we can have, using the AI techniques, we can also easily monitor our learners progress during their task, identify the areas where they can improve upon, where they are struggling, or where they are encountering some difficulties in the learning process. So it is important that how we are making use of AI, and how they can support and they can complement the task based learning, and not only removing the replacing the human interaction as well, and also guiding them entirely. So the role of teachers is of course there. It is always crucial in facilitating some meaningful tasks, but also providing certain things like promoting social interaction and also collaborating with the learners as well. So these are the points that we can improve upon using the concept of AI powered tools in the evaluation process, in the real time monitoring, in the task design as well, use of NLP in the process, as well as developing some intelligent tutoring systems as well. So these are the different aspects that we can talk about and think about in the task-based learning as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, our next question is from Liu team. Are there expect reports, reviews, or scientific study of OBE that are either widely cited or accepted? If there are any available, please list them.
See, over here, we cannot make your list of what has been cited, or whatever expert reports are there, or reviews about the scientific studies, because I have mostly taken my presentation through with the help of my experience, or what do I feel are the important frameworks, some coinages which we have time and again be discussing about, what are the benefits of the OBE, what are the processes involved, and we are time and again being talking about lifelong learning. We are emphasizing on developing the competence, technical competence, or the technical skills, or the technical abilities of the students as well. So they are well accepted, they are well cited. Whatever assessments that we are talking about, there are several things that we have talked about, but sorry to say that I have not put any or cited any references as such, but it is impossible for me at this point of time to remember that where from I have taken some resources or utilized them. You can always find it, you can Google it, you can look at the different AI powered tools as well sometimes, and you may make use of the materials, or the reviews, or the scientific studies related to OB. You can refer to some research article, that would be better. But mostly I have taken most of the components, or I have discussed most of the components right from the beginning, based on some experiences I have shared. Okay, because I am not a researcher from OBE, I am a researcher from control system, or related to the technical engineering courses. So mostly my basic idea is, over the years, in my span of 14 years teaching experience, whatever experience I have gathered for OBE, or the different accreditation councils that we have undergone for NBA in our country, India, and ABET accreditation. We have been ABET accredited. Our electrical engineering program has been ABET accredited as well. So whatever experience I've gathered from the discussions held with the accreditation team, from the different reviews of the accreditation teams, whatever that I have shared with you, mostly the major components have been shared with you. We can also share the content, but right now I'm not in a position to give you the availability of these contents, or the reviews, or the scientific studies with regard to OBE. It's not in my preview for the time being. Maybe at some point of time we may share quoting some references in our future slides as well.
Sir, there is no more questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Honorable sir, before we move to the next, if you want to leave this studio, you can. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. For some technical problem, we cannot continue the quiz session from our website. So to join the quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com and the code is 2538915. I repeat the code 2538915. After the short video, we will start our quiz session. With 18 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. First question is outcome-based education. Option 1 enables to measurement of equity and academic process of a institution. Option 2 provides a framework for student-centric. Option 2 is the right answer. 20% people are right here. In the leaderboard, NIMFA is holding the first position. Our second question is outcome-based education. Option 1, CMO Nong 46 series of 2012. Option 2, CMO Nong 37 series of 2012. Option 2 is the right answer. 52% people are right here. In the leaderboard, NIMFA is holding the first position. Our third question is outcome-based education. Option 1, doctors. Option 2, teachers. Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. In the leaderboard, NIMFA is holding the first position. Our fourth question is outcome-based education is option 1, teacher-centric approach. Option 2, student-centric approach. Option 2 is the right answer. 95% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Shamim is holding the first position. Our fifth question is define outcome-based education. Option 1, a process of restructuring of curriculum only. Option 2, a process of restructuring of curriculum and assessment. Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Shamim is holding the first position. Our sixth question is outcome-based education is option 1, teacher-centered. Option 2, student-centered. Option 2 is the right answer. 95% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Shamim is holding the first position. Our seventh question is outcome-based education is option 1, a traditional approach. Option 2, learner-centric approach. Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Shamim is holding the first position. Our eighth question is outcome-based education is option 1, a teacher-centric approach. Option 2, a student-centric approach. Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Shamim is holding the first position. Our ninth question is what's outcome-based education? Option 1, OBE is an educational process. Option 2, OBE is method to answer teaching skills. Option 1 is the right answer. 50% people are right here in the leaderboard. Shamim is holding the first position. Our last and final question of the session is, what is outcome-based education? Option 1, it is a student-centric teacher and learning methodology. Option 2, it is a competency upon completion of a lesson. Option 1 is the right answer. 95% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say, properly feed your skill, never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us, be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to a goal, not a people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the like button, I can want to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.